Okay, good evening, everybody. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Sean Callan.
Here.
Julie Chetney.
Here.
Tom Chiappa.
Here.
David Crisafulli.
Here.
Jim McKenzie's here. Kristen Norfleet.
Here.
And Sean Onmock.
Here.
Okay, let's stand for the pledge, please. Okay, was there anybody signed up for the public? No. Okay. So we're to superintendent's report. Dr. Kilmer.
Just real quick, just a big thank you to all of our staff. We came together last Thursday for our opening day, which was nice. It is a little different. We don't typically gather in August, but it was nice to see everyone. Again, before we welcome students today, I had the opportunity to stop into each of the buildings. There's nothing like seeing beautiful smiling faces on the first day of school. It's an exciting time for kids, and it's an exciting time for staff. And by all accounts, a very successful start. There are always hiccups on the first day of school, but nothing that our staff wasn't able to address or overcome and support our kids. A huge thank you. I know we've got quite a bit of construction going on. The middle school still has some significant work. A lot of that work some work is being done during the days if it's not interrupting instruction, but some of it is second shift. But I went to that building about 2 weeks ago, and I thought to myself, I'm not sure how they're going to open this building on September 3rd, and they were able to do so. And a huge thank you to the custodial crew. That building was an absolute mess, and not only did the contractors do a great job of trying to help and support, but our custodial crew just did such an incredible job of getting that building ready. Same true over here at Layton as we're trying to finalize the school health center, which again, our hope will be open very soon. So just a big thank you to everyone for a great start to the school year, and it's just nice to see kids back in our buildings. That's it.
Thank you very much. Next on the agenda are committee discussions. Would there be anything from audit committee? No. How about our community relations committee? No. Facilities? We're good. Policy?
No.
No. And visitation, we're going to get on that starting soon here. So we're next on to the consent agenda. Going to have item A, please, the minutes of our contingency board meeting from August 28th. So if I can get a motion, please, for 7A.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, David. Is there a second? Thank you, Sean. Is there any discussion? Okay, having heard none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Is there anybody opposed or abstaining? Thank you. Next is 7B and 7C. I'll group these together. Minutes of our last regular board meeting and their special education report. So if I can get a motion for 7B and C, please.
I'll move.
Thank you, Kristen. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Tom. Any discussion? Okay, having heard none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Is there anybody opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have personnel. I'm going to start with 8A, professional staff recommendation. It's a resignation. So if I can get a motion for A, please.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Tom. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, David. Any discussion? Okay, having heard none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Is there anybody opposed? Okay, motion carries. Next up are our support staff and substitute temporary employees. So if I can have a motion for items B and C, please.
I'll move it.
Thank you, Sean. Is there a second? Thank you, Sean. Any discussion on B and C? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Is there anybody opposed? Okay, motion carries. Next, we're going to do our extra compensatory positions. So items D and E, please. If I can have a motion.
I'll move.
Thank you, Kristen. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, David. Any discussion on personnel items D and E, extra compensatories? Okay, having heard none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Is there anybody opposed? Okay, motion carries. Okay, you'll be happy to know I am not reading all of these resolutions, as I sometimes read, but I am not. But we do need to do these first ones individually because each needs a roll call vote. So I'm going to start with Finance Item A, which is our 2024 Capital Project Bond Resolution. So if I can get a motion, please.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Tom. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Julie. Just as a reminder, all of these votes are so we can set up our next capital project that we've been talking about for the last few months. Some of these will be to authorize the bonds, and some of these will be authorized to send it out to the voters. So this one's the bond resolution. Okay, so any discussion on item A? Okay, Diane, would you help with the roll call vote, please?
Okay. Sean Callan,
Yes.
Julie Chutney,
Yes.
Tom Chapa,
Yes.
Dave Crisafulli,
Yes.
Jim McKenzie,
Yes.
Kristen Norfleet,
Yes.
and Sean Onmet.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Next up is item B, which is the resolution for the 2024 capital project. So if I can get a motion for this resolution as presented, please.
I'll move it.
Thank you, Sean. Is there a second? Thank you, David. Any discussion before we move to vote? Okay, Diane, thank you.
Okay, Sean Callan,
Yes.
Julie Chutney,
Yes.
Tom Chapa,
Yes.
Dave Crisafulli,
Yes.
Jim McKenzie,
Yes.
Kristen Norfleet,
Yes.
Sean Onmet.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. The resolution passes unanimously. Next up is to establish the 2024 capital reserve as presented. So if I can have a motion, please.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Julie. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Tom. Is there any discussion on the establishment of a new, we're going to call it 2024 capital reserve to the fund of $15 million? So is there any discussion? Okay, having heard none, Diane, thank you.
All right, Sean Callan,
Yes.
Julie Chutney,
Yes.
Tom Chapa,
Yes.
Dave Crisafulli,
Yes.
Jim McKenzie,
Yes.
Kristen Norfleet,
Yes.
and Sean Onmet.
Yes.
Okay, and we have one more for the roll calls. Item D, please, which is the 2024 legal notice for a special meeting resolution. So if I can have a motion as presented, please.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Tom. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Julie. Is there any discussion?
All right, Sean Callan, Julie Chutney,
Yes.
Tom Chapa,
Yes.
Dave Crisafulli,
Yes.
Jim McKenzie,
Yes.
Kristen Norfleet,
Yes.
Sean Onmet.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Appreciate the help, Diane.
And I just wanted to clarify, just to make it sure it's crystal clear. And we talked a little bit about this last time, but just so everyone understands, so if there's someone at home that's watching, this approval is moving forward a proposed $46.5 million capital project to be voted upon on October 29th. The project, as it has been presented, there will be no additional tax impact. It will utilize as the local share the capital reserve up to $9 million. Final cost is not calculated until the end of a project, and so the board right now is set aside what those maximums are, so we couldn't do anything above that, but I want to make sure that that's crystal clear. Capital reserve is being used for the local share. There will be a lot more information. This is just step one. It was getting the authorization of the board to move this forward. There will be a publication coming out to the community by the end of the month of September in all of our residents' homes. We will also hold a public hearing on October 15th at our board meeting to answer any additional questions that people might have about the project. But there's going to be lots and lots of information going out to our families and to our community about this project over the next 2 months.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Gilmer. Sean?
Ray, in addition to all that about the next steps, do you think we could get a summary for our community, members to understand where the final phase of the current project is? Because someone might be like, well, there's still stuff going on, or what's left of the previous, capital project. So to really refresh everybody's memory on where it stands as of right now, and so what they can expect to see until the end and when the anticipated end is, and then we go into 2024, capital project.
Yeah, why don't I bring to the board, I can do a presentation on Phase 4 at our next board meeting, just review those last pieces from that project back approved in 2018, finalizing that, and then what we'll see for the October 24 project vote as well. Yep.
Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda are some donations, some awards, and a contract. So I'm going to look to group finance items E through H together, please. So if I can have a motion for E through H.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Julie. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Tom. Any discussion on finance items E through H? Okay. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, motion carries. The next are our assessment rolls for all of the taxation purposes. As you'll know, that these are estimated at the beginning when we do budgets, and they get finalized later on. So I'm going to look to have items I through L, please. These are going to include our tax rates and establishing the tax rolls. So items I through L, please. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Sean. Is there a
I'll
second?
second.
Thank you, Kristen. Any discussion on finance items I through L as presented? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Is there anybody opposed? Okay, motion carries. Final thing under finance is an MOU. Item M, if I can get a motion for item M, please.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Julie. Is there a second? Thank you, Sean. Any discussion on item M? Okay, having heard none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Is there anybody opposed? Okay, motion carries. Next on the agenda are items from the board. Do any board members have anything this evening?
I just had a quick thing. I know that, Ray, you touched on the custodial staff, but also the whole buildings and grounds department, because I personally know what it takes all summer long, and especially that last 2 weeks to get everything ready. So thank you to all of them. Transportation, what goes on during the summer up there is the whole scheduling of all the routes and everything else, and it's a lot that goes into it. And today's probably their busiest day of the year. I mean, it's very confusing, hopefully it went smooth. I haven't heard anything, so I think it did. And lastly, food service. A lot of people don't realize everything goes to the warehouse by the tractor trailer load. And then our staff on food service stock the buildings, get all the equipment ready and that, so thanks to all the support staff.
Thank you, David. Any other board members?
I do.
Yeah, Kristen?
I just want to say thank you to the boosters. As I was driving in today, I noticed that there's some new banners on the field as you come in on the left on Buck Boulevard. I understand there's also some new banners over at the middle school for the cross-country teams along their routes. And I also hear there's some more banners going up around the tennis courts to create more of a home field environment there. I just want to thank the boosters for always trying to do their best to try to show some spirit around where some of our sports teams are that don't already have the Buck in their areas. Thanks again.
Great, wonderful.
I just wanted to say it sounds like it was a great first day. I did happen to be at drop-off at the middle school today, and it was like a party that I've never seen. A good party, right? A good party. There was, I know that there was this Oswego State lacrosse players were there, high-fiving and greeting the students as they came in. That was a little exciting. There was music going, a lot of teachers. It was just a really great welcome back. So I just, I can't speak for the other schools, but I was there and it was pretty awesome. It felt really good. And I think kids were just, like you said, it was smiling ear to ear. Everyone was excited. Hopefully, we'll keep it going. And I also just wanted to check in and find out about if, I know we talked about this a little bit before, have all of the vacancies that we had been filled? Are we still kind of, I know we're probably always looking for positions that have been vacated, but just an update on that.
I don't have the exact numbers, but teaching assistants is an area that we are still working, and we will continue to work to try to fill. But that's the primary area. I believe all of our, Mr. Syracuse, all of our teaching positions have been filled at this point. So we've got all, and that's huge for the start of school, because there's been a number of Labor Day weekends where I've been searching for a teacher in one area or another. So to not have that is huge. But teaching assistants are really an area that we still need some. We continue to look, if people are looking for employment, you can contact Mr. Syracuse, and we would be happy to take your application, which is also found on OLAS, but that's our primary area right now. And then, of course, as always, as every district is in New York State, we are looking for bus drivers. So if you'd like to get your CDL and come work to bring our children to school and back every day, we'd appreciate it. But that's another area that we're fully staffed for our routes, but we absolutely need additional subs, especially when we get into the season of our athletic trips. That always really taxes our employment as well. So we absolutely need some additional bus drivers.
Thanks.
Any other board members? So my only kind of accounting type thing is we do need to continue our work on our annual board goals. And as I look ahead at the schedule, we have September 17th meeting and an October 1st meeting. And I think we should be addressing it at one of the two, because then there's the October 15th meeting, which we'll be talking about the new capital project. So we'll already have a fairly good discussion going on in that day. So I guess I'm wondering if board members would like to, either on the 17th of this month or October 1st, start a workshop at 4 before our regular 5 o'clock meeting, or start a workshop at 5 and push this meeting back an hour. Are people available on the 17th or the 1st at 4 o'clock? Do we not know? Okay. Well, I mean,
I'm not on the 17th,
okay. So I've got one X.
early, but like if we push it, if we push it back, I
So you're
could,
not good at 4.
yes, that's correct.
I prefer the first, but I could do either.
Okay. Sean? Either one? Oh, you don't know yet? Okay.
Actually, I know I'm up in the air. I'm really just going to be late the 17th, so if you did it later on the 17th, I would be able to be here by then.
Okay. And Tom, how are you doing? Good Friday. Dr. Kilmer?
On 1st and 17th?
Yeah? Okay. So I've got some leanings towards the 1st. Dr. Kilmer, Tom, and I will get back to everybody with some more concrete in the next week or so. Okay? Wonderful. So are we good on items from the board? There is not a need for an executive session this evening, so if I can have a motion to adjourn the meeting, please. Thank you, David. Is there a second? Thank you, Sean. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, motion carries. Have a great evening, everybody.